Yo, what's up, everybody? Your dude, your rebel, your guy that steps in next level, King Sergeant, aka Level 92, saying what's up. Very, very beautiful day out today here in this quarantine-filled society. And we're here for another KeeKlip episode, but this here is KeeKlip 366 for Season 7, Episode 16. So we get a whole lot more, hopefully, within the time being. Just do some, quick clips. I like that, quick clips. Did do some more stuff along the way. I know we got a whole lot to do, so we're gonna try to get the best out of here. And before we get to this review, last video we did for 365 was the Lego game, Lego Town Cruisers. Very, very classic board game, and I believe that unless I did have it somewhere, because I know I had some of the pieces, but it was just kind of weird. So we're gonna be doing a long video for this one. This is a spoiler alert too, so if you have not watched the show, spoiler alert. We're going to be doing a whole review on Knights of Zodiac, the 80s version. There's also something I saw on Netflix. I just finished the whole entire series. Thank God. It took a while. But we're going to talk about that. Like I said, for those of you that have not watched it, maybe watched it a little bit, but not watched it fully, spoiler alert. I'm just saying. Don't get mad at me because, he said, but like, dude, you watched the video. Watch this. At least watch a few shows first or something. You just kind of watch the basis of it. Now, with Saint Seiya, for one, it's kind of how like Ronin Warriors was. Little different, go figure, as far as the characters and everything else, but it's somewhat similar, a little similar. But it was a really good show. There was a 80s version. There's I think it's like, I forgot the other series was. I'll probably look into that later. There's also the Netflix version, which is that is more quick and it's like 3D anime, somewhat, and of course they have the same character but different name switch. But just go on with the show here. So it takes place where a few episodes in. So it takes place where these young kids are basically going to be becoming warriors. There's four main characters or five main characters, which was Pegasus Seiya, that's the main guy. You have Cygnus Yoga, that's my guy, he's a swan, blue and swan. Dragon Shiryu, Andromeda Shun, and Phoenix Iki, which is Shun and him are brother. Well, Shun and Iki are brothers, and there's gonna be a story along to that. But yeah, so they basically are kids, and there's some other kids too. It's more than just those five warriors. There's other warriors in the series, but they get a little bit of screen time, but yeah, that's how it is. So basically, like I said, these kids, they're meted by some man, and they basically go off on an island, and they're trained to become these Zodiac warriors or Zodiac knights. And the way they do it, like for one, Seiya was in Greece, Yoga was in Siberia, which is basically a cold area. Shiryu was in, I think it's in the jungle. I forgot where Shun was. And then, Shun was basically going to go to a volcano island. I think it was like Death Island or Queen Death Island. And Iki, at the time, he wanted to trade spots because he knew that Shun was not going to really to make it. And then, basically, Iki had a master that was like freaking cruel as hell. Which, the master had a daughter. He killed the daughter it was an accidental blow that was forced to Iki. And then, basically, it killed her. And so for his character, for a start, he was most likely going to be a bad guy only because he was trained, his master was basically training him to have hatred. That's how it kind of went through. And so a few episodes later or years later, they all get their clothes because they had to face off different challenges. And each person had their master, and some of them actually come back within the series. A few of them kind of. So it comes to a point in time where all the knights are basically at this arena, and the winner would get this golden cloak. That's basically what they call their armor. And for most of them, this was more based off like zodiac signs or constellations. Like you had the Bronze Knights, which were the warriors were. The Silver Knights were what were they? I think they were like there was like the Masters, so to speak, and then you had the Gold Knights, which are the Zodiacs, but those are in the next few series. So this one they were winning the what was it? The Sagittarius cloak. And so it was right before the end. Shiryu and Seiya were basically in the fight, and then at one point Shiryu was about to die. Luckily, Seiya did something to save him because he is hard about to stop. And so with that, it was great. And then all of a sudden, E comes out of nowhere and he starts kind of like destroying things left and right, and they're trying to stop him. And of course, in Sean's expectation is a shock because he didn't know what happened to his brother. But we just know that he comes back looking badass and just goes on a frenzy. And so there's a another area to this. I think it was in not Greece. First off, I just mentioned a female character, Athena, which basically was holding the tournament. She was basically a child of a grandmaster that knows about it too. And then later in the series, they explain that she was also Athena. But she had another name. There's another name that she went by. Lady Seiya, I think. One way it goes. So she basically was the goddess Athena, and of course she's basically somewhat protector of the armors. So she plays a big role later on throughout the series. So at that part, they try to find Iki, try to get him back. Then they go to another area, and they're basically finding all these dark knights. Like some are clones, others are just there's another knights from another world or from another area, which was, I think that was Greece, because one of the main bad guys at that time was Pope Ares, and of course people know Ares is the god of he's not the god of war. I think he's like the god of battle or whatever the case is, because that's the true thing. So Pope Ares does a dark spell that happens within him, and of course he's off in his area, and then he sends his other knights, which he's also carried the gold knights, like the Zodiacs and Libra Gang. Haha, that's a cool one. How that one goes, they just hearing the news about it, and it, like I said, all these other knights, these other dark knights, are coming in trying to destroy Seiya and his crew. And so to a point, they go off to different areas and try to find all these knights. One of which was, there's two females. One of them was Seiya's master, and the other one was basically just trying to get to Seiya and try to just end him. So she had a role too. The master, of course, she has a role too. She kind of comes back, tells him what's going on, and they basically they try to go on a frenzy to stop all these things. And then the other one, hers was a snake. Forgot her name. Sorry about forgetting names. But in her case, she's trying to kill him. So it goes off like that, left and right, for the next few episodes. And then to a point where they come across another like set of temples. Now this is like after, because of course the dude went, because one episode Seiya basically wears a Sagittarius cloak, and he's finding somebody that he knew, but again it was like that dark spell. It's like a dark mind spell. So he wears that. It looks pretty cool. These clothes are pretty cool. Like I said, Cygnus Yoga, that's my guy. I definitely want his armor. So at that point, they go to another island where they that was the fourth season. Yeah. So at one point, they do both of them fight their masters. Except for Seiya, he's fighting someone else. The other, Hyoga fought his master because of a dark spell. Andromeda, I think, fought his, but no, that was someone else. That was some other people. I don't know. Seiya was the only one that basically fought his. And of course, they also fought like fellow students, and some of the fellow students, they were knights as well, but they also had to fight the Bronze Knights, and I think they were like most likely the Silver Knights. Yeah, so that goes on for a few episodes, or at least a few seasons in. Another part was when, this is where it comes like to the later seasons. I think there's like season 3 and 4. Because I never ended at 4. Because 5 and 6 came in later. I was really waiting for that too. They also they go to these temples. It's basically 12 temples, and it's all zodiac signed. One of which, if I recall beforehand, the first one I forgot what he was. He wasn't Aquarius. I think he was some zodiac sign. One of the knights, they were on this island, and Shiryu, one guy that Shiryu fought, it was like a what was that one? Medusa? Yeah. It's like a Medusa guy. He basically, his shield has Medusa's head, and when it flashes, you be getting blind or you turn to stone. So what Shiryu does, he basically he pokes his own eyeballs, and he can't see. Surprisingly, he won. And so the whole thing for that one was Seiya. No, because I think one person, was on the verge of dying, and Shiryu basically, no, their armor was ruined, so Shiryu basically went to this one guy. He's like a god, something like character, and he basically was going to restore his armor. But the only way to do that, one person would have to give up their life, and it's like a sacrifice type of deal. So along with that, Seiya went to see the same person because he went blind, and he told Seiya to go to this area and find a fountain. It's like a youth fountain, and it had like this water. And if Shuri would have drank it, then he would be, he'd be cured from his eyes. Because he does go back because he has to heal, and that's like later, way later in the series, or like before, early in the series too. So it didn't happen at first, but then it helps out a little bit later, because I think it was something else they did within the fights that kind of helped him out. And his name was Moon, and he had an assistant, Kiki. That's like me. So during the fights, every temple they go to, they have to fight the saint. They have to fight that zodiac saint. Like, so, Aquarius, Capricorn, Libra, Sagittarius was one of them, but it wasn't really there. There's a trick to that one. Gemini, Pisces, all that. They had all that, and every time they get through with the bout, it'd be like an hour, because one of the knights, some evil knight, had these he's shooting arrows, and they were all like holograms, or they weren't real arrows, and so one of them happened to strike Lady not Aphrodite, not Andromeda. I just had the name. I'm so sorry if I a whole lot of names, believe me. But Athena, there we go. So she gets struck by one of the arrows. So they had to find a cure. So they had to go to all 12 temples to get to the last one, which was Pope Ares. And so each fight they got through, it basically was 1 hour, because there's a giant clock tower, and it had like these flames, and they wash out, saying like, okay, that's 1 hour passed. So they had to do it in a matter of time before she dies. So each bronze knight, they're fighting gold knights. These guys are strong as hell. So the only way to win, or the only way to get through it, they have to use their Cosmo, which is basically an aura. Like how Goku can go Super Saiyan when he's, trained to do that. With these guys, their Cosmo, it kind of gives them the power. And when they really concentrate hard to perform that power, that's how they get more moveset, or their moveset's a little bit stronger, and then the armor is a little bit stronger too. Now some of them, which I will also point out, Shiryu, Shun, and Hyoga, just a little bit, those are probably the only guys that can actually fight without armor, but Shiryu is one of the only dudes that will sacrifice himself without armor. And I'm like, oh my god, this guy's amazing, but I still like Hyoga. And then Shun, for one, like his character base, he's not really, I'm going to say a punk for real, but he's one of the guys where he does not really like violence, but yet he still has to do what he has to do in order for the piece to be balanced, so to speak. And so, they go to the temples. Of course, Ikki at the time, Ikki was almost dead for like a few episodes, old seasons ago, and then he comes back. So at few, he sacrificed himself because he found one of the Gold Knights in order for them to keep going. One of the other Gold Knight armors that was confusing. It was like basically illusion. I forgot which one that was. I want to say that was a Gemini, or I think it was, yeah, it was a Gemini one. So it was a little bit confusing. Yeah, so some of them do take sacrifices, which we knew half of them was going to come back, but the other ones kind of just died off. And that's, of course, when they got to like the later towers. And by the time, so by the time they get to the last one, Seiya, of course, is basically your prime guy to take on Pope Aries. And they had like at least an hour left. Now, beforehand, there's the other guards that came to, I think, stop Athena and her body type guard or bodyguard or whatever. And along comes other knights. These are other bronze knights. They're like the one that was the bear, the wolf, the snake, I think a lion, and some other knights. So they're based off friend. And one of them was not Pegasus. One of the unicorn. That's kind of one of the feuding knights that had some beef with Seiya at the time. But yeah, so that happens, and then of course they're still waiting to see if they will get to the top. And so by saying them going to the top of the temple, or the last temple, that's when Seiya, he had I don't think he had the armor on beforehand, but he basically had a power to kind of stop him. It took a while. It took a while, and there you go. There's season 4, and so. Because the others, they were like beaten down, they were worn out, the armor was almost corrupted. To a point, come season 5 and 6, which was later. So I think 4 came in there too. Either way, so on to the last seasons. Another enemy appears out of nowhere, and basically this was Poseidon. No. Not Poseidon. I forgot that name. I think. Well, I guess it was Poseidon, but it's something else. Now this is a series. In these last few seasons, they're fighting God Knights, which is basically, they're fighting higher up armored knights with basically the powers of gods. And once again, basically, these 4 pillars had to get knocked down. And of course, each pillar was guarded by a god knight. And there are a lot of them. And one of them, which I would like to say, there was an African American one on there, and he was not Zeus. He was I think he was Triton. Yeah, and he had like this little trident for weapon. I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. It's like, see, like African American anime is cool as fuck. But either way, so in that kind of got into play, and he's actually fighting Shiryu. Now his powers are really cool. Basically, like their golden armors, their armors are really not technical to what a bronze knight can do. But yet again, they still found ways to get through the armor, and they knocked some of the pills down, and they had some of the golden armors. So the Libra, which my sign, the Libra armor, they had a shield, and they basically threw it so many times at the pillars, it can get cracked down, but there's also other powers that had to be responded to that in order for the pillar to get down. And so by the time they got a few of those down, and they go up to the last guy, which I want to say he was Poseidon, but that was someone else. And there's some other characters too, because like I said, this is all a dark power as well. And one of them was one was a lady. One was a lady. So I think that was had been the last few. Yeah. She had a ring, and it took over her to become this dark son bitch. But and so, all the warriors are trying to fight her. They can. Of course, Seiya is basically the last one taken in. And there's a statue of Odin. And we're talking like the supreme god. And basically, whoever gets to the top of there, and they had to fight all these other god knights beforehand too, because I didn't mention this before. And they had like these little gems to basically access. Kind of like say Dragon Ball Z, you get all 7 of the Dragon Balls, or 6, and then you make your wish. appear Chiron. So where in this case, these stones they have, they bring it to the Odin statue and they can wish for something. They, want the armor. And he has the armor. Now, of course, say at a point, there's a part where Seiya has a stone, he doesn't know what's going on, he falls to the pit along with the stones, and then he comes back up, and out of nowhere, this armor of Odin appears, and it's basically striking the Seiya, which is I think it's like a sword, and it's like a crystal-like armor. It's really cool. At that point, that's when he stopped the one chick, and the ring, when she falls, she basically goes down, and of course the ring comes off and then it disintegrates. And in one part, I think the island's about to be destroyed, and so she sacrificed herself when she heard that Athena was, and she was drained for something, but she was gonna sacrifice herself to save her and alongside of the knights. And so, but of course, she lives afterwards, so that's all good. And then they go to the last guy, which is basically like the main other villain. And so most of them, they have on their gold armors, like Pegasus would have Sagittarius, Hyoga would have I think it was Aquarius. Shiryu had, I think he had Libra because they all use Libra because of the shield. And in one part, for Sagittarius, using the arrows, the guy that they were trying to fight, he could throw it back at him, and they did all they could, and it kept going for a few minutes, and then they got him in one part because they knocked off the helmet, and they go past his temple to get that last pillar, and of course, everyone's getting in their powers, they're getting in their armor, and then just go bang. It's like one big finale win. So I know how that goes, and that's kind of like your whole entire series. So basically, no matter what rank you are, you still have the power to go to the top wherever it has to be gone, and there it is. That's basically all Saint said. Now the next version, which they're on season 2, it's just a quicker version of that, and there's a little bit of new things. So either way, it's still watchable. But Saint Seiya, it's been a while since I watched that, so it was honestly something really, really good. I say to check out. For those of you that like, the 80s anime, the songs are really good. The characters are very well developed, and the stories are really awesome. It's really on point. It's never really anything disappointing. Like I said, there are some sad parts for those of you that are really sensitive of depths and everything. So I should, like I said, give it a very good time. It's on Netflix. Check it out. All 6 seasons. And now there's another season after that I'm gonna check out. And yeah. So I think there was a toy line too. If I can find DVDs, I'm buying them all. So that will be here for 366 review of Saint Seiya. Like I said, for those of you like anime, I suggest watch that. It's a really good show. So, like always, like, comment, subscribe to the channel here. Also, follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/dude1192. Also on Twitter and Instagram, dude1192, and even Snapchat and TikTok, dude1192. Until next time, stay tuned for 367. I'll see you when I see y'all. Peace out. Stay awesome.